Bienvenidos a todos a otra entrevista. Nuestros invitados especiales de hoy son Nate and Andrea Alger de Spanishland School, or Tierra Española Escuela, ¿sí? ¿No? Today's a special day, and we have these great guests on. We started off a few minutes late, but it's a long way from where they're at to where we're at, and we're delivering the internet by airplanes today. So don't worry about that. Today's interview is going to go on for just about an hour. Super Chat is going on just below you, so please don't hesitate to take advantage of the Super Chat. And it's a very simple system. You just click on it if you want to put your chat at the top. And if there's a donation you want to make, you can do it that way. It's your choice, whatever you want to do. But please, if you're here and you've never subscribed to this channel, I'd like you to click that subscribe button right now and make sure that you hit that like button. And we're going to be taking your questions throughout the entire interview if they deal with what we're talking about. And then later in the interview, we're going to have an open just ask whatever question that you have. So if you ask a question about what we're dealing with, we're going to get to you. But if you have just a general question, we're going to have a time for that as well. Okay, so without any further ado, let's welcome our guests today, Nate and Andrea of Spanishland. Hola a todos.
Hola, Dan. Muchísimas gracias por invitarnos.
I think we're speaking English, though, no?
Oh, yeah, we can do both. Yeah, sure. We got people here that speak English.
Can I speak in French? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, see?
So thank you for inviting us. We're so happy to be here. And yeah, we would love to just, help anyone that's learning Spanish or any language with tips on how to learn a second language. So muchas gracias por invitarnos.
Oh, this is a pleasure to have you here. And I'm just wondering, where you're sitting so close to Nate, are your hands free? Because I know you like to talk with your hands.
Yeah. So my hands are in my computer for the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, my hands are free. Sí, muy libres mis manos.
She can't talk. She actually cannot talk at all, Dan, without her hands. It's not allowed, apparently, in Colombia.
Yeah, in Colombia, you have to talk with your hands, right?
Okay, so the first question I have for you, Andrea, is this. Andrea is if I say Andrea or Andrea, perdóname.
However you want to pronounce it.
The first question I have for you simply is this. Where in Colombia? ¿Dónde en Colombia? Where in Colombia are you from? Tell us a little bit about that. Because it's a beautiful and large country, so diverse, so different in different regions. So please tell me where you're at.
So, of course, everybody knows about Bogota, which is the capital city. And then people know about Medellin as well, which is like the place that everybody goes to. And then Cartagena in the north, where the ocean is and everything. Well, my city is Bucaramanga. It has a long, weird name.
Okay, so let's do it together now. Let's all together, everybody.
Bucaram.
So I actually came up with this thing where I go like boo,
okay,
and then cara,
a face,
like cara, and then manga, like a sleeve,
manga.
So boo, cara,
manga.
Bucaramanga. Exactly. That's my city. And that's 7 hours from Medellin. It's like en el centro del país.
Okay.
But like the way we speak is very similar, like in the way that people speak in Bogota. So it's like el centro del país. It's easier to understand.
Right. Okay.
The accent.
Right. I personally believe that the Colombian accent is the clearest for me to understand. And I guess most of the Spanish movie industry does too, because a lot of actresses and actors come from Colombia. And so I was interested in knowing I was interested in knowing how the accent is different in Bucaramanga.
You learn it.
See. I have a quick study when I've got these images now of scare my face and my sleeve off. Okay, so
A quick aside on Bucaramanga. It's actually known for some very strong-willed women who use their hands. So Andrea is definitely a strong-willed woman.
That's what they say.
Okay, so when I talk to you, I'm going to go like this, okay?
Exactly.
There. Now,
Exactly.
So Nate, where are you from?
So I'm kind of from all over. So I was born in Portland, Oregon. I quote unquote grew up south of Boston, Massachusetts, in a small town, West Bridgewater. And then I went to school in Texas, and I was living in Texas after graduating college for about 10 years.
Okay.
And recently, about 2-3 years ago now, we moved to Nashville, Tennessee to be closer to family. So we kind of have
and heaven.
To have all our family kind of in one place.
No tenemos hijos.
Yeah.
No tenemos hijos todavía.
Yeah, no kids yet.
What I meant was you wanted to be closer to heaven by moving to Nashville.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, of course.
Is that a song?
No, it's just my feelings.
Okay, it's a good place. We like Nashville.
I'm from Memphis, so it's a little bit. I live in San Diego, but I'm from Memphis. But very familiar with and I have some very good friends just south of you in Murfreesboro. So yeah. So how did you meet? How did a Oregon, Boston, Texas boy meet a very strong-willed Bucaramanga
woman that talks with her hands, right?
Yeah. So.
¿Quieres empezar?
Yeah, sure. So my stories are usually shorter. Hers are longer. It's just the different personalities. But anyways, basically, I had been learning Spanish and she had been learning English. So kind of our language journeys kind of cross paths. We used a website called Conversation Exchange. So for anyone who's looking to find a language exchange partner, conversationexchange.com. And so Andrea had contacted me. It doesn't even have a photo, so I can't even say I was.
Which was a good thing.
I wasn't even looking for Andrea. I was taking more yeses from women than men. But so I talked with Andrea. She contacted me and said, "Hey, you want to chat? We can do a language exchange." And so I said yes, and we started talking. And it was really just friends. From the moment we first talked, I'm not going to say it's love at first sight, but I could tell there was something about her that was different. And she was a little strange, but she was a good different. It was a good different.
Gracias.
So, and then, if you want to continue the story, go ahead.
So, so we talked for like a year and a half online. Like we would Skype like once a week. And then after like a year, basically we're like, we're feeling, like we had feelings towards each other. Estábamos gustándonos y can I speak in Spanish or English or just English the whole time?
No, whatever's best for you, that's fine. This is everybody else will just have to listen again and turn down the speed, and that's fine. That's just more hours on the YouTube
I say
channel,
because I kind of jump from Spanish to English a lot of times. So hablamos por like un año. Y después él dijo que quería conocerme en persona. So it's a long story, but basically he was going to go to South America. He had a trip planned, like a missionary trip. Well, you were going to be doing like...
I was working in microfinance. I did a microfinance volunteer for 5 months. It was really, I lived with a Bolivian family for 5 months, and it was a good experience just volunteering and speaking Spanish.
So basically Nate was gonna go to Machu Picchu with his friends, and then we talked about it, and I was planning a trip with my friends too. So we decided to do the trip together, like with his friends and my friends. And like during those 6 months before the trip, we were kind of getting closer and on WhatsApp and talking every day and kind of saying nice things to each other, blah, blah, blah. So we wanted to get to know each other in person and see if it was going to work, because we kind of talked about having a relationship or something. And so we did the trip trip together, and
What a
it
great
was fun.
story.
That's how it.
Yeah. So ended up being, we always say it was a 1 month first date. We actually spent 1 month together traveling through first Peru and then Ecuador and then Colombia, where we met her family, and then ended our 1 month date in Cartagena. So it was quite the first
Muy
meet.
loco, muy loco.
Muy loco. And really quite an amazing story. And we're going to get into this. I've looked through the body of work that you guys have put together, and it's immense. It is really an hour could not, if we just really seriously got into what you guys are producing, and I'm talking about just skip all of the let's get to know Nate and Andrea, just really got into what it is that you guys are producing. It's immense, and it really has, just a huge future in front of it. So, I mean, it's just a perfect combination, and that's one of the things that Spanishland has always stuck out to me is, we're going to talk more about it. I don't want to get into all this, but it is not just a simple young couple getting together and doing something. It's a large addition to the online, and I guess sometimes even in person, non-COVID,
right.
Spanish learning universe. This is not just simply one long web page and make a decision at the bottom and you're in somebody's funnel. This is a serious piece of work. So let's kind of divert for a moment and talk about how that is. And I'm trying to do this to help Andrea to understand everything I'm doing. Let's talk about how that's divided out. We have the podcast, okay, Español Listo, ¿sí? Okay, and we have the school. You have your YouTube channel. Your YouTube channel alone is immense, but the school. But let's start at the YouTube channel, and let me just simply say, if you haven't seen their YouTube channel, you need to go to it. And if you haven't subscribed to Spanishland's YouTube channel, you need to subscribe to it, and you need to watch the videos. And please, people, when you watch the videos, this is what's important, is that you watch all of the videos.
There's a lot.
That's really key.
There's more than 100 now.
Yeah, that's really key, is that you watch all of the videos. And one of the things that always concerns me is when people will only watch like 1 or 2, 3 minutes of a video and make a huge decision. Don't do that. Watch several, watch them again, and you better have your Spanish ear on, because there's going to be a lot of Spanish coming at you. Okay, so let's start with the YouTube channel. Talk to us about the YouTube channel. When did it start? What is it? What are you doing with it? How often do you publish? That type of thing.
So, Dan, let me just say, I don't recommend starting a Spanish YouTube channel and a Spanish business right after you get married. But
that's what we did right after we got married. 2 months after we got married.
The business
This has been our baby.
No,
way before we got married. Okay, we'll get into that. Go ahead.
So basically, the business mind in me, I was already looking at online businesses, and Andrea, the teacher, the relentless teacher, who has over 100 videos now, it came together, and I was thinking on. I saw Andrea, and I thought, you are an incredible teacher. I mean, you have a real gift, and you don't get tired. And she really doesn't get tired teaching Spanish, and she loves it, and she loves being on calls like these.
I can talk for hours.
Yeah. So I was looking at businesses, and I was thinking, why don't we do this online? We were at the time, we had already done just the Españolistas podcast
for like 6 months.
Yeah, and that was going okay. It was slow and steady. But the YouTube was really like a play, like, let's do this, and then we'll do an online course, and you can teach through a bunch of videos online and slowly build up an audience. Obviously we were so optimistic. Oh yeah, we're gonna grow and be so big, and it's YouTube is slow and steady, and so yeah, do you want to continue from there?
So basically in 2016, in October of 2016, we started with the Españolistas podcast. And then that year in December, we got married. Then 2017 in January was when we were like together, enjoying like marriage life for a month. And then I went back to Colombia and he stayed here in the US. So we literally married, were together for a month, and then separated again for a whole month. And then he goes back to Colombia in March and he's like, hey, I have this idea. The podcast is taking off. We need to start a YouTube channel. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then we started doing the YouTube channel in March of 2017. So literally 3 months after we had gotten married. And then we launched like the first 6 videos in April. So April of 2017. And like he said, later that year, we came out with a course. And that's how it all started.
Well, all great things start somewhere. And I've had plenty of people tell me, if you're thinking about starting one, you need to start one because it's a slow path. I had a comment recently. Somebody put a comment on my channel. This channel is horrible, and I wrote back, yeah, I agree. It's horrible, but hopefully it won't always be horrible. But it's
YouTube for you.
It's YouTube for you. That's right.
I mean, we have like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments like that.
Yeah.
And of course, by the way, if you're gonna go to our YouTube channel, I recommend just watch the latest videos first instead of the first ones, because those have like a bunch of echo and the lightning is bad and all of that. But that's how you start, right? And so even though at the beginning we had like bad sound, bad light, like we really didn't know like what we were doing completely, but you know, it worked. So
yes, even now,
just get
let me
better
say
every
to all
time.
let me say this to everybody who's listening. Even now, I've gotten a few messages from my great producers. These are my friends who are contacting me and let me know how it sounds. If there's any sound problem, any visual problem, it is not with Nate and it's not with Andrea's system. It's all mine. I'm trying to improve it week by week, poco a poco. But please bear with me and bear with us through this. This is a part that we don't get when we watch somebody's channel, is get a chance to really know them and to see, hey, you know what? These people, they're real. They got struggles like everybody else, and they brought on some of their own struggles. Get married and then start a YouTube channel. This is it's genius.
It's the nature
actually.
of doing things live.
It's actually
so no
genius.
worries.
You guys are working together and you're doing a great thing, and you're making Spanish learning more easily attainable for a lot of people. So let's move on to the podcast, and let's not talk about when the podcast started. It's still ongoing, and it's immense. It has so much in there. Tell me what's going on with the podcast. Where should someone start with that?
Yeah, so like anything, the podcast has just been one episode per week. We're finally been a more consistent cadence. But just like in Spanish, little by little, if you're just consistent every single week, you'll get better. And hopefully I've gotten a little better in my Spanish. It's not great, but it's it's definitely better than episode. We just did, I think, 187. We just posted that, and the 187 is a huge difference from episode 25. So, and that's week by week.
187 podcasts, measured in weeks. That's really great. So let's talk about the Spanish. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna add, we do an episode per week, but we give the transcripts, so people can actually download the transcript for free.
Wow.
And listen and read. So they just need to go to Espanolistos with an N, espanolistos.com,
and it's in the description below, people.
There.
It's also in the description below for this video.
Nate's gonna put that in the chat, but it's just espanolistos.com.
Okay. And now let's talk about the school and the content of the school. Now, my understanding of the school, and tell me if I'm wrong, my understanding of the school and where you really excel is helping someone go from that plateau that we get stuck on, called that intermediate level, and helping someone to advance to, I hesitate to say the expert level, but much better than intermediate. So let's call
Right.
it, near fluent level. I think CFER would consider it calls it an expert or an experienced user or whatever, but that's what you do in the school. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we pretty much, so what it is we have a membership. People can become a member. And what it is they are going to have access to a platform where they are going to have like classes every Saturday and a live class like at the beginning of the month, plus lessons, 2 lessons per week. So what we're looking at doing is we want people to have a structure. So we realize everybody wants to learn Spanish, everybody wants to improve, and there's so many things out there, but it's like people didn't know where to start, what to do next. So what we're trying to provide is a structure for every single month, um, with like lessons that are organized and focus on like one specific topic. And so that's the idea. We provide like lessons on grammar, listening, and then like watching a video and responding questions. And then we actually do like people can actually write and send us their writings and we will correct their mistakes. So we basically wanted to provide a structure where people can improve week by week, following in order, in a way that they are improving in all of these skills, not just reading, not just listening, not just understanding of the grammar, but everything. So that's pretty much what we do in the school that is a membership.
And then we also recommend, there's so many different ways to find a tutor online, or, we offer her aunt is a tutor, but we obviously recommend as well that people are getting their speaking practice in as well as, hearing and listening, because that's that's a huge part of getting to the next level.
Okay,
Yeah,
how has COVID
sorry.
affected your school system?
What would you say about that?
Honestly, I think being in the online space, it's helped us more than anything. It's as bad as COVID been. I mean, it's a lot more people have been able to show up live on videos like this, and have been able to do Spanish courses and memberships. So, there's definitely been some people that dropped off just because they're trying to save money, and our programs and extra costs. So, but as a whole, we've had a lot of new people join us and learn Spanish with us. Just a lot of times, because it's like you either watch Tiger King at home or you can learn Spanish with Andrea. So take your pick.
Yeah, to me that's a no-brainer. I can't. I don't even know what. I don't even know. I've never heard of the Spanish teacher Tiger King, so I don't know what YouTube channel he's on and what country he's in. So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So no, that's not a bit interesting to me. But right now you have in the school um, several groups that go. You have a Spanishland School Facebook group, but then you have at least one group that I know of, maybe two, that are on Facebook specifically for the school. Tell us about that.
So on Facebook, you're gonna find the main like Facebook page, and then there is a public group, and there's a private group. So a public and a private group. So yeah, we provide a community just for the students, so that they can ask questions about the monthly material. But then in the other public one, I just give tips, put videos in there, actually give exercises for people to like translate or complete phrases, and we actually respond to their comments. So the two groups are similar. It's just that the private one is just for the students, and then I am more active there, and they can ask questions, and then we try to answer those questions, and just make them feel that they have a community, with the other students, that they are studying the same topic together. So yeah, that's SOS.
Okay, so here's a question that I have. When a student asks you a question in your Facebook group, and they've signed up to your intensive class, um, what's the feedback time? Because you got a lot of students, you have a lot of things that are going on. you've got a lot of products that you're putting out. So
Mhm.
what's the feedback time that you're able to get back with your students?
O sea, el tiempo que me gasto en responder.
Can you just ask the question again, Dan?
What do you mean by the feedback
¿cuánto,
time? Like, how long
how
does
much?
it take me to respond? Or
Exactly. How long does it take you to respond to an inquiry from one of your students?
oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Well, we actually just got a teacher 1 month ago, so he's helping with that. But before it was just me answering like all the emails and everything. So we're getting a lot of emails, a lot of inquiries, like you said. So I mean, we try to respond the same day, next day at the latest. But yeah, we do get a lot of questions about the grammar or just questions about the courses in general. So it's me and another teacher and my sister that works with us. I mean, it's not just Nate and I. My two brothers work with us. My sister, she works with us too. My aunt, my cousin, and then we just got a new teacher. So everybody's doing different things. But of course, I'm the one doing the teaching. But yeah, I mean, it takes time because we get a lot of emails. But now I have someone that can help us with that.
Yeah, I can't imagine because you have a a lot of work going on, and I can imagine the student load, especially the COVID student load has increased, I'm sure,
Yeah,
and
I was gonna
it's
say because
impressive.
of COVID, actually we got some more students, I guess, because people have more time. So I mean, it actually hasn't affected us really, thankfully, because of course it affected all my family in Colombia and stuff. So it's good that we were not that affected really.
Are you right now in Tennessee, or I mean, when do you go? The question I really wanted to ask is, how often do you go back to Colombia? When you go back to Colombia?
Okay, so we go there at the end of December and stay for 2 months. Because actually in February we do Spanish immersion trips in Medellin, Colombia. So we stay there in January and then the whole month of February. And then I always go back in July or September. So 3 months of every year. But we want to stay for longer going forward.
And the immersion trips that you do, that is for the higher level students. Do you have any
Yeah.
basic level immersion trips?
Yeah, it is for because our materials are for intermediate, upper intermediate, and advanced.
Okay.
So the ones that go on the trip, they really need to have a good level of conversation.
That said, we still have spouses go sometimes, and they just kind of fit right in. And we as much as everyone wants to speak Spanish the whole time, there's definitely some nights where people will be speaking some English. And
Right.
but yeah, so right now we're doing we went to Medellin and Salento in 2 different weeks.
Yeah, that's great. And I'm hoping soon that you can pick those immersion trips back up. But I think 2020, I gave it a 1-star review. It's bad. I don't recommend it. It's horrible. I wanted to show people. It's been a rough year. It has, and it's been a rough year for a lot of families, and our hearts go out to those families. I wanted to show everyone some interesting videos that we're not going to show the whole thing, but just to give them an idea of what the Spanishland, entire concept looks like. This is the welcome to the Spanishland, video that's here as they start out.
Hi there, this is Andrea, and today I have a question for you. Have you ever felt like your Spanish is not progressing and that you're stuck in the intermediate level? Well, this is just the right place for you. In Spanishland School, we provide you with all the actionable tips and training that you need to go to the next level.
And that's the one thing that really stuck out with me, if I could say that, is the niche that you fill is so very needed in the Spanish learning community, and that is to get people out of that intermediate level and bring them up. Because that's where I feel like I am, and I feel like that, like you just said in your video, that you're stuck there, and and so that's one of the things that that interests me about this. Now, what's one of the things, also one of the things that comes to my mind is how serious your course truly is, because I've looked at the agenda, the curriculum, and the layout that you've given for students. And if you're going to take this course, it needs to be a dedicated, determined,
Yeah. It's
time in your life. That's right, because
it's for those that really want to take their Spanish seriously.
That's exactly right. Well, folks, let's take a pause just for a moment, and it's time to pay the bills. And by that, I want to encourage you to go over to after the interview, go over and take a look at the mini course that's offered at SpanishlandSchool.com/mini. That's a free mini course, and it's designed to improve your Spanish listening. Andrea teaches it in a short 4-part section. She'll send you cheat sheets. She'll send you things to take a look at. Give me 30 seconds of why somebody like me should sign up for your mini course.
Okay, this mini course, like you said, is a really quick 4-step course where we basically teach you how to improve your listening. So we're going to give you specific things that you got to do when you're listening and you have the transcript for what you're listening to. What are the 4 things that you got to do in order to really understand what you're listening? So it's going to teach you how to understand better and how to do active listening, which means really understanding what you're listening to. So
Okay, that's great. I call that developing my Spanish ear, and and it's so very important, especially when, as a beginner and low intermediate students, we typically hear Spanish spoon fed to us at a slow pace. And then we get into a Spanish environment, and it can be a shock to your system to actually hear real life Spanish spoken at a real pace. So go over to SpanishlandSchool.com/mini and check that out. Also check out their Facebook page and the other opportunities they offer. But also, I want you to take a look on Amazon at my book, My Complete Spanish Language Learning Journal. My journal does not compete at all with any Spanish teacher. My journal is for you, the student, to track your progress and to help you to stay motivated as you go. And it's good for any level, beginner level, the intermediate level, the expert level. They can all find a place where they can use the journal. And I want to thank the 22 people who've given me 5-star reviews on this book and telling me and telling the world that it's going to help their learning efficiency. And we also have a private group that supports the book, and I'll send you out some things along the way as you go through your Spanish journey. So that's our short little commercial for this interview. But I do want us to take a look. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask you this. I've been looking at it now on Amazon right now. How long did it take you to write the book? It looks great.
That's a very good question. I'm actually working on a video right now, and I don't want to spill the beans on how long it took me to write this book. But I started unknowingly when I first started studying Spanish of writing this book. I spent 24 years on active duty in the United States Navy with the Marine Corps, and my specialization is helping people measure what they do and to improve the efficiency of the thing that whatever they're doing. In this case, in our case, it's studying Spanish. And so that kind of translated into the thing about the book. So I'm looking forward. I'll save the rest for for my video on
The other
that.
video.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
cool. I might
Because
be buying it.
well, right now, what I want us to take a look at is the Spanishland website for just a moment, okay? Because the Spanishland website is just absolutely full of some some huge, excuse me, some huge opportunities for everybody. That's at www.spanishland.com. And if you think my book's got some decent reviews, you should see the success stories that Andrea and Nate have for that. And I apologize for any of the background noise that's on the video there that I can hear now. But the website itself is just immense. It really is, and I'm impressed whenever I see additions to learning systems. And so let's just consider for a moment that there's this little universe of Spanish language learning, and there is, and it's alive and thriving on YouTube. It's on podcasts. I like to interview people here on my channel. But what I like to look for is people who are adding uh, to that body of knowledge. And that's the thing that really strikes me about Spanishland and looking at that. And folks, I'm not a student of Spanishland. This is a 1 hour infomercial for Spanishland. I'm just a serious student that um, am tired of fluff stuff. I'm tired of Spanish being turned into a game or people being stuck at beginner level for years, intermediate level forever, never being able to carry on a conversation or to understand a spoken conversation. And I think life is too short to not um, improve in those
Not
areas.
learn Spanish perfectly.
Exactamente. And so let me ask you a question. Somebody is just starting out. Somebody in our chat today, they're just starting their Spanish journey. What are some things that you would tell them beware of? Beware of.
Okay, I mean, if someone is just starting to learn Spanish, I mean, of course, the first thing they want to do, I mean, in general, the first thing you want to do is create a routine and like be consistent. That really is the main thing. It's not the videos that you're gonna watch, it's not the podcast you're gonna listen to, is are you going to be consistent? So my advice always is create a routine. Don't try to study for an hour every single day if you're just starting. Start with something little every day or every other day, say 20 minutes. Of course, if you're just starting with Spanish or you just started a month ago, of course, like the Duolingo app is really good. Of course, you got to do that first. We don't offer courses for beginners, like I said, but if you just go on Google and write Spanish podcast for beginners, there's a ton of podcasts that you can listen to on your podcast app. And of course, they'll walk you through the basic stuff. So you could be listening to a podcast episode every time that you're driving. That doesn't take any extra time to listen to a podcast. And then do the app every day for 10 minutes and then start studying the grammar like every other day for 30 minutes or something like that. But go ahead, Nate.
I would say to go back to kind of your question as far as what to beware of. My personal opinion, maybe a little different, Andrea. I'm not a huge fan of Duolingo. Not that I don't think you can get better at your Spanish. To me, the best thing when you're getting started is listen to a beginner podcast like Coffee Break Spanish, and you just start speaking. Work on your grammar. Maybe get a grammar book. Better yet, get Dan's book, and just make a little progress each week. But I really think you need to be speaking either with a language exchange partner or a tutor, and also listening through like Coffee Break Spanish or maybe a more beginner Spanish, as long as you're hearing the words being spoken and speaking them, then you can start remembering them. I think a lot of people, they'll use like an app or something and just think, oh yeah, I'm going to be Spanish pro in no time. When I think it's kind of like, in my opinion, kind of like a cop out. And then the other thing I'll say to beware of, if you don't have a real reason to learn Spanish, we've met so many people. I have friends, Andrea has friends, we all have friends where they say, we're going to learn a language, we're going to learn Spanish. And if you really don't have a why and you don't have a desire for deep down to learn the language, you're going to eventually give up. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
All right, so those are some perfect things. You know, start small, grow small, then pick up the pace, and and the main thing is to find your reason. Matter of fact, in the very first part of my book, Nate, I asked people to list 3 reasons why they're studying Spanish. And the reason I asked them to do that is not just so that they'll have something that they fill in, but this is a trick I learned in the military, is for you to find someone and you ask them, why is it that you want to, why do you want this? You know, why do you want to be a Marine? Why do you want to be whatever it is that you want to do? And then when times get tough, you come right back to them and you say, wait a second, you told me this. You said you wanted XYZ because of XYZ. You know, now, has any of that changed? Nope, none of it's changed. Well, then get right back at it and hit it hard. And this translates into life everywhere, but it certainly translates into learning a language. Which brings me to this question, Andrea. How many languages do you know? How many languages do you speak?
Just 2.
Okay. All right.
I should know another one.
What about you? Are you studying another one?
No, I mean, we only speak Spanish and English. I knew a little bit of Portuguese.
Okay.
And okay, to be honest with you, I have wanted to learn German forever. And I just keep getting busier. But like, I really want to start doing that just to challenge myself. And because seriously, I want to do like an experiment with myself to find new ways of learning. So I just speak Spanish and English, but I want to learn German and know some phrases here and there.
Okay. All right. So hang on a second, folks. We've been serious for 45 minutes. It's time for us to lighten up the load a little bit and to get ready and have some fun. We're going to be playing our 60 seconds game in just a moment. Now, Nate and Andrea, this is a game where I give you 60 seconds on the clock to tell me, to answer questions. Now, this week, we're going to do things a little bit different. You're going to get 1 point for every question you answer in 60 seconds. Okay?
Oh man, that's hard for me.
Now, folks, let me tell you something. As you all, I'm sure all of you watch the news. This week here in San Diego, the USS Bonhomme had a fire that started on Sunday morning around 08:30 and was not extinguished until late Thursday evening. The ship, in my professional opinion, is probably salvage. It probably will never go to sea again as a serving ship. However, this ship is home to over 1,000 sailors. And a lot of those sailors live on board that ship all the time. And that means that all of their personal possessions, their civilian clothes, their laptop, their books, everything that they own personally, except for a car, was destroyed in that fire. So what I'm going to do is, for every question Andrea and Nate are able to answer, I am going to donate to the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society's drive to help those sailors who have lost everything on the ship. Now, the Navy will replace their uniforms, and the Navy will make sure that they get well taken care of, but the Navy's not going to replace their personal possessions. And that's where those of us that serve in the Navy, have served in the Navy, or serve in the Navy and the Marine Corps, have an independent relief society, and it's typically comprised of active duty service members and their family and retired service members. But this is a serious need, and we need a lot of people to join in. So if you'd like to help me with this and make a commitment to match every question that they answer. So like if you say, I'm going to match it $1. So if they answer 20 questions in 60 seconds, you're going to send $20 to the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society to help the USS Bonhomme Richard disaster appeal. So let me get back to matters here. And so Nate and Andrea, are you ready to go?
Yeah.
I think so. Is it going to be Andrea first, or is it both of us?
Voila.
Can you
Nate?
hear us? Uh-oh. Did we lose you?
Are you guys? Can you guys hear me?
I
Yeah.
can hear you. We can hear
Okay.
you.
Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it going to be
So
Andrea
here we go.
or
We're going to
myself
do.
or both?
Let's do our. We got to have our intro because we worked so hard on making this intro for you guys. So we got to have our intro. And so we're going to have that. I'm Dan Hall.
And I'm Jude Vivas.
And I am Raina Scott.
And this is 60 seconds. Okay, so 60 seconds.
Good
We're going to
skills.
put 60. We're going to put 60 seconds on the clock, and you guys will have to answer these questions in that length of time. And let me just get the clock set up here. And here we go.
This is intense, Dan.
60 seconds. Here we go. As quick as you can. Don't miss anything. Here we go. If you won the lottery, what's the first thing you do?
Invest the money in properties.
Best book for learning Spanish.
Dan Hall's book.
Oh, best recommendation for Spanish TV series or a movie.
Oh my gosh.
Destinos for beginners.
Okay. What chore do you absolutely hate doing, Andrea?
Cooking.
Cooking. All right.
I don't hate it, but whatever.
Have you always been comfortable in front of a camera? Yes or no?
No. Yes
Yes.
for her.
Okay. Nate, what's Andrea's favorite flavor of ice cream?
I think she likes strawberry probably the most. Yeah.
Okay. True or false? It was Nate's idea to do podcasts.
Yes, true.
Okay. True or false? Before doing her podcast, Andrea had to listen to many other podcasts.
False.
False. She didn't even know what a podcast was.
All right. Dining indoors or dining outdoors? Oh,
Outdoors.
okay, we're going to have this. Okay, this final question is a bonus question. Listen carefully. I want you to name 2 things that are true and 1 thing that is false. Now, don't tell us what's false. Don't tell us what's true. I want everybody in the chat to answer what's false. So you get a little bit of time to talk it over with each other, okay, and come up with 2 things that are true and 1 thing that's false. All right.
Like in general about whatever topic.
About anything. About anything.
Okay.
You can do it if you know.
Okay, espera. Espera. I know, espera.
The clock is already ticked, so we're...
It's okay. Go ahead. You're fine. Take your time.
Okay, like en general. Okay, espera. Okay, yo sé. Okay. Listo. Estoy lista.
Go ahead.
Okay. Entonces, 3 cosas. Cosa número 1. Sorry. In English.
So thing number 1, she said.
Thing number 1. Bogota is the capital of Colombia. Number 2. Colombia has the 2 oceans, Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. And number 3 is the 22nd of July is the Independence Day of Colombia.
Okay, now in the chat, you have to say what is true and what is false. Or just name the false thing. Just name the false thing in the chat.
Just name the false thing.
So I loved seeing her operate under pressure. That was that was great.
Siempre hago esto. Tengo que mover. I have to move my hands to think even. Did you notice that? I'm going like this.
That's go ahead.
Here's a true or false for the audience. True or false for the audience here. True or false? Andrea created a group on Facebook
Oh my gosh.
that is about not getting married before 25.
23.
23.
Well, now we know.
I guess it turned out to be false.
No, he's just making fun of me because when I was 18, I created a group for all my cousins and friends, and I was like trying to encourage them to not date anyone until they were 23. And I ended up marrying when I was 22. So
Okay.
everybody
So you had to kick yourself out of the group. All right. So you had to kick yourself out of your own group that you created. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Independence Day of Colombia is July 20th. Not July 22nd.
Okay, very good. All right, now we're going to open it up to the chat. This is where the folks in the chat can ask any question they want. I know that Nate is watching the chat. He's been extremely active in the chat. Thank you so much for that, Nate. And I'm watching it over here. I think I've answered one question, maybe two, but let's. And by the way, Nate, Ruth McCoy is my mother, so you just made her happy by shouting her name out. So, yeah, that's exactly right. Now, so this is where the chat can ask any question they want. So, folks in the chat, give us a question, and if you want to make sure your question doesn't disappear, you can make that a part of the super chat below. But let's get some questions in, and while we're starting, let me ask you guys in regards to vocabulary. An interesting question came up last week, and I want to bring it up at your level, at the intermediate going up to expert level. What's the number of vocabulary words that a person would probably have, down in a high intermediate in Spanish? Number of vocabulary words, do you think? I know there's no set number, and I know it varies from person to person, but what would you say?
My personal opinion, what I did, which helped me a lot, is I used an app called Anki. And I think I downloaded a pack on the Anki app. It's a flashcard app. And it was, I think, like 100 of the most common words in sentences. You want to make sure you have the words in sentences. And you flip them over and you get the different definitions or different translations, I should say. So I don't know if you have a set number.
No, I don't. I can't think of a set number, but I did want to say though, if you're an intermediate and you want to move to the next level, the best thing you can do to get more vocabulary is you need to start learning synonyms for the words.
Yeah.
There is a website, Sinónimos in Spanish. Sinónimosonline.com. You type the word lindo, it will show you like 5 different synonyms.
And if you watch my last video on You're Not the Boss of Me, that video is about synonyms and the real purpose that synonyms do. I love that. I love the power of a synonym.
Yeah, so I think an intermediate student, what they need to be doing is looking for synonyms. Like if you're reading an article and you find 5 new words, the way you're not going to forget them is by looking at the synonyms and trying to make sentences with those new words. So yeah, eso pienso. I think we have some
let's get to the questions.
One question for you. When did you start learning Spanish?
Oh yeah, I was responding, I guess, in the chat. I started learning about 5 years ago, to be honest. That's when I really, I was bored in my accounting job, and I moved to Buenos Aires, Argentina, for 6 weeks, and that gave me the desire to start speaking, start learning, and that's where I met Andrea along the way.
Yeah, that's
Now,
great.
someone said nice interview with Jim and Mai. Yeah, because we did an interview with Spanish and Go is another YouTube channel. They also teach Spanish. So, gracias, Jeff, por escuchar la entrevista. Nate, what is the app again?
Oh, yeah, the app is called Anki, A-N-K-I.
A-N-K-I, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
A-N-K-I.
that's a really good app for everybody that is learning Spanish. We always recommend that one because you can keep track of the words that you're learning and you can make your own flashcards.
Right. And I also like Quizlet. It's an app. Anki can get expensive on the iOS side. Personally, I think the investment is worth it, but if funds are tight, and of course they could be for many people at this time, the Quizlet app is free, and you can add to your own vocabulary as well. So Quizlet is an otro, muy similar app as Anki is.
Right.
So check that out. Okay, so let's get back to the questions. Barb Putnam, one of my most favorite people, period. I love Barb. My Barb friends. I've got Barb friends. Barb Putnam and Barbara Land. I'm so glad that learning Spanish has brought me in contact with those two wonderful ladies. She has a question about, do you have special hints for senior learners?
Hints is what? Tips? Or
Tips, yeah.
Okay. Well, I need to say that, like, our students, the ones that are in the membership, like almost 50%, 45% of them are retired people. So, I mean, again, it all comes down to, I think it really is the same for everybody. I wouldn't say it's different for, like, if you're a teenager, or like if you're in your 30s, or if you're a senior. It all comes down to the same. You have to have a routine. You have to be consistent. And, if someone is retired, they in general have more time. So I think the main thing, again, maybe you can block your calendar on, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays for 2 hours. And then you're studying Spanish for 6 hours a week. But then definitely get a tutor, someone that you can talk to. That's the other thing I was going to say. For those that are just starting, or that they don't feel like they can talk and they have been studying Spanish for a while, you don't have to wait until you know all the words and understand everything. No, you have to start talking with a tutor. So in general, just get a course, listen to a podcast, and get a tutor, and just follow an order week by week with that.
That's great advice. And let's take this final question from Steve. Steve LB46. You have a course on the, another question just came in. You have a course on the subjunctive. Can you give us more advice or more information about the course? And if you could put a link, or send me a link, I'll put it in the, I'll also put it in the description for the course that's on the subjunctive. But everyone, I'm just going to say, please check the description below after the video for all the links and so forth. Some people have asked, how do they donate to the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society? The link is in the description below. And please know this. I double checked on this. Every penny that you give will go directly to the Bonhomme Richard sailors that need. Now, not all of them need something. Many sailors have insurance through USAA for personal possessions, but the ones that don't have them, and they're usually the junior sailors that are just starting and they didn't know to get it, didn't think about it. And those guys are, they're hurting right now for, tennis shoes, just casual clothes, that type of thing. Right. All right. So practice, and we'll get to the other questions as well. I wish there was a way for our audience just to be able to applaud you guys. Thank you so much. Everybody at home, I'm sure, is waving at you and applauding. Please know that what you do is making a difference in the life of a lot of people, and you are fulfilling dreams and wishes, and you're making something that seemed impossible comprehensible, and we appreciate that. And I hope that in the future, down the road, some months in the road, we could have another opportunity to get together with you guys and maybe just talk about one specific area instead of just this general overall. Let's get to know you. But it's been great to get to know you guys and to see the two of you, and to hear your story has been fun. So really appreciate that. And I'll give you guys the last word.
No, muchas gracias, Dan, and thank you so much. And everybody, gracias, thank you for being here, for listening. We're really, really happy to be here with you. And yeah, gracias por dejarnos estar en tu canal.
Yeah, Dan, you've been really nice. It's been great to meet you virtually. I know we've been chatting back and forth, but wish you all the success. I'm sure we'll stay in touch. And we appreciate everyone listening in. I apologize for a little bit of an echo, but thank you so much for everyone listening in. And, we're just really thankful, honestly, for the great people that are following us and, that follow Dan as well and that have an interest in the language. We always say it doesn't matter how or where you learn the language, in what ways. Follow the channels that you enjoy most, that are positive, that move you forward, because that is the most important thing. Is you're consistent, you're moving forward each day, and you're learning Spanish. And don't forget to get Dan's book.
Exactly.
And thank you. And please, let's do some subscription stuff going around here, folks. It makes a difference. Subscribe, watch their videos. When you're studying something, if you're in another course and you're studying something, those of you that are studying Spanish with Paul, like me, when Paul mentions a particular topic in your studies, go over and see what Andrea's saying about it, and add that to your studies as a kind of like a booster. And sometimes the questions that you ask in our group, maybe she'll answer. And if you are at a high intermediate level, and I'm talking to you, Dan Klingspan, if you're at a high intermediate level and you're ready to go to the next step, I'd encourage you to take a look at her course and consider that. And we're all looking for the time when you can have your immersion courses back in Colombia. And I have one more question for you: Bogota or Medellin?
Medellin.
Medellin, no doubt about that. I can answer that one quick. Medellin's a great place.
Right.
I always tell her it's best city in Colombia.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. Well, all right. I'm going to have to check it out. All right. Everyone, adios. Please stay safe and take care of each other and stay connected. And hasta pronto.
Ciao.
Thanks. Take care, everybody. See ya. All right. Should we hang up?
No.
We're good to go. And we're the